the Australian Speedway Championship, an event steeped in tradition with origins dating back to 1926. This event has been won by all the greats, and names like Orb Lawson, Jack Parker, Lionel Levy, Billy Sanders, Jim Airy and Phil Crump, to name just some, have all left an indelible stamp on the coveted national crown. Tonight we welcome you to the Schweppes Gosford City Speedway for the 2000 Australian Speedway Championship. Hi everyone, great to have your company as we welcome you to the beautiful central coast of New South Wales and the Schweppes Gosford City Speedway for the running of the 2500cc Australian Speedway Motorcycle Championship. This event is certainly steeped in tradition and we look forward to bringing you all the action in the next 60 minutes. A sensation just prior to the start of the meeting, 1995 national champion Jason Crump is out of the event. He's been struck down by a gastrovirus of some description. Doesn't sound too good, does it? He's actually in hospital and as a result won't be here tonight. There's no doubt many of the experts are considering this event to be a match race between Lee Adams and Todd Wiltshire, two of our top international riders. But it is a good field. Let's now check it out for you, as well as the format, and then hear from some of the stars taking part in the 2000 National Speedway Championship. Certainly is a good field, as you would expect, in glorious weather conditions. 16 riders to do battle tonight, plus the reserve rider being Chris Sauter. You're currently looking at Russell Harrison from South Australia. He'll ride with number 1 on his back. Guy Wilson from Perth in Western Australia with number 2. Todd Wiltshire from New South Wales, number 3. Lee Adams at number 4. Stephen Davies at number 5 from New South Wales. Craig Watson, also from New South Wales, at number 6. Another New South Welshman in Mick Poole at number 7. Jason Lyons, the Victorian, at number 8. Stephen Johnson from Western Australia at number 9. Nigel Sadler, another South Aussie charger, at number 10. Travis McGowan from Victoria at 11. Dave Watt from Queensland at 12. Kevin Doolan represents Victoria, wearing race jacket number 13. Mark Lemon also representing Victoria, race jacket number 14. As you look at Todd Wiltshire, whose name I mentioned a little while ago, Brendan Mackay, all the way from the Northern Territory, rides at number 15. Adam Shields replacing Jason Crump at 16. And Chris Sauter is the reserve at number 17. I'm joined in commentary by Rodney Colhoun, former international rider. You've done plenty of laps around Gosford. Who do you like tonight?
You've got a fancy Lee, Dave. He's a consistent performer. He's been here a number of times recently. He's got his hand in and he looks the part, but obviously Todd will throw out a big challenge to him, especially with his lightning fast starts.
You just saw Lee Adams. Now we're looking at Stephen Davies, the Novocastrian Express multiple New South Wales champion. Don't write him off here tonight. Tough, talented, experienced, and providing his bikes are doing the right thing by him, he'll be hard to beat. He has endured a nightmare with mechanical problems in recent years. All the riders receiving medallions from Mr. Chris Holstein, the Mayor of Gosford City at the moment, in conjunction with the event promoter here, Terry Poole. That is Craig Watson, one of our top young talents, Rodney.
Yes, I believe Craig's got a big future in the sport. I think he'll be a definite World Championship contender in about 2 or 3 years. He's a young guy, and as you'll see later on tonight, he's very, very fast.
Full-time professional based in England. I caught up with a number of the top riders just before the parade you're currently looking at. We'll bring those interviews to you shortly. Now Mick Poole, called Mr. Excitement around the Gosford City Speedway, and for good reason. He too a former multiple New South Wales champion, and he's been rubbing shoulders with the world's elite riders for a long, long time now, and is certainly a rider that is being highly regarded here tonight. His prospects. Jason Lyons, a Victorian, reigning World Team Cup champion, overseas champion in 1998, and must be considered a big chance tonight. I caught up with a number of the stars a short time ago. Well, defending national champion Todd Wiltshire, you've been in terrific form. I guess you're entitled to be feeling more than just a bit confident tonight, but it's got to be said, at a track you don't enjoy riding.
That's exactly true. It's not one of my favourites. It's now my local track, but certainly not the favourite. And it's a funny old track, and really anything can happen here tonight with any of these riders is possible winning.
Why is it a funny old track? Why is it that Todd Wiltshire doesn't put it among his top, say, 10 tracks in the world?
Oh God, hard to say, I suppose. It's I always have a problem riding in front of my family and friends and stuff. I've never really had a nice meeting in front of my family and friends, and this is the one where they'll come and watch. But really, I think just the lighting doesn't help me. The lighting's not too good here, and the fact that the track's built on a hill. You know, the track coming off the first turn, you're going downhill and you cambered away. So I guess at the end of the day, it's a psychological thing I've got to get around.
As always, some fairly hot competition, although something of a sensation. Jason Crump, who won the national title here in 1995, is sick in hospital, so that has certainly cost the meeting one of its stars. But in real terms, you'd have to think a real dogfight between yourself and Lee Adams.
Most certainly, I think majority out there would probably think the same, but like I said, Gosford's one of those little tracks where anything and anybody can pop up and win, and let's not forget Mick Poole, who's the absolute favourite around here, and he loves the place, so obviously he's boosting with confidence and believes he can beat anybody. But I mean, even Stephen Davy's been around for so long. Stephen rides around here most weeks and he knows exactly what he's doing, so it could come down to Lee and I, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few others up there as well.
Good format tonight, 20 heats. Each rider will take part in 5 qualifying rides, and then the top 4 go to the final, a sudden death scenario. That's good television and exciting for the fans. Maybe stressful for the riders.
Yeah, it can work for you, can work against you. I mean, it worked for me last year when I only scored 11 points and getting myself into the final and then won the meeting, whereas just recently in the Skilled Masters Series down in Mildura, I went through on a 15-point maximum and then got beaten in the final. So can work for you, can work against you, but it's great for the crowd.
Well, multiple New South Wales champion and former international Mick Poole riding tonight in the National Championship for what must be the umpteenth time. You've qualified for every national title since I can certainly remember. In front of your home crowd, a home track, do you see that as being an advantage?
It's a little bit of an advantage, just confidence-wise, I think. I know my way around here pretty well, but you're riding against the best riders in the world, and they can ride any track anywhere. So, just the confidence side, yeah.
So you're comfortable, but not cocky.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm enjoying my racing now. I don't get nervous anymore. It's only just a bit of fun for me now, but you always like to do good in the Aussie title.
You rode in a few rounds of the recent Skilled Masters Series and look very, very good. You seem to be still enjoying your Speedway at the top level.
Yeah, I do. I probably enjoy it more than I ever have. Ever since I really started, there's no pressure on me anymore. All the other guys, the pressure on them to come up with the goods, and I'm only there to give them a race, and I beat a few. So it's mainly because I'm more comfortable with what I'm doing now, and it's mainly just a bit of fun now.
Who are your biggest dangers tonight?
Obviously Lee Adams, he's untouchable at the moment. I think he's going to be the man to beat. And Todd, he's the reigning champion. He's going to be, and he won the New South Wales title here as well. And all the other guys from the World Team Cup team, Jason Lyons, and and even Jono, he went good here in the Skilled Series. So mainly those 4.
Well, Lee, in the pits preparing for the Australian Championship, an event you've won 4 times before. You've been in, quite frankly, unbelievable form in recent months in Europe and here in Australia. You've got to be feeling good about this, I guess.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident. Obviously going to be a tough meeting. The Aussie title is always pretty prestigious, and all the boys bring that little bit extra out. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be pretty much up to gating. I think it's going to be a trapper's paradise. Although a track's looking good, I think there'll be some good racing. But I'm pretty pumped for it and like to make it 5. Be up there with Billy Sanders.
Absolutely, that'll be a milestone in itself. Jason Crump is out of the meeting, I believe quite ill in hospital with some virus. You would be disappointed about that, I'm sure. Whilst it's possibly a bonus, you'd like to be racing him and beat him fair and square, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, because he didn't race in the International Master Series this year, it'd be great to take him on here, and it's a real shame, It's I've only just got over the flu or the gastro or whatever it was. It sort of come over me pretty quick, and 24-hour bug, and I'm just feeling okay now, which is good. But I feel sorry for Jason. It's a horrible, horrible feeling.
Good luck tonight, mate. Now that you've mentioned the gastro bug, I'm out of here.
Thanks, mate.
There he is, Lee Adams, no doubt about it. One of the real big names competing in this national championship tonight here at the Gosford City Speedway. Riders now behind the starting tapes at this venue for the opening heat, the first of 20 qualifying heats. Winner of each qualifying heat receives 3 points, second 2 points, third 1 point. Man trailing home in last place picks up 0. And Russell Harrison from South Australia rides in red from gate number 1 on the right-hand side of your screen. Guy Wilson in blue from Perth rides out of gate 2. Todd Wiltshire in white from gate number 3, the defending national title holder. And Lee Adams, his major adversary tonight, rides in yellow-black gate 4, the extreme outside, left-hand side of your picture. We get set to send them on their way. Guy Wilson got an awful start out of gate 2. He was just bobbing up and down when the other 3 said, see you later. Meantime, it's Todd Wiltshire that's taken the lead. Good move by young Rusty Harrison, the 18-year-old South Australian, up on the inside of Lee Adams. Not for long, though. The 4 times former national champion Adams now races up in the second spot on the circuit. Rod Colquhoun, as he left it too late, is Todd Wiltshire gone?
I think Todd's gone in this one, Dave. I think the track's a little bit soft underfoot, and Lee's struggling to come to terms with it at the moment. He's just riding around. I think he'll be disappointed to get second, but better than falling over.
Gee, has closed up, though, quite dramatically. We may have a race in our hands here. You're right, the circuit is a little on the greasy side, which Gosford tends to be early in proceedings. Obviously, a lot of water is utilised to prepare the racetrack. We'll see the circuit at its best come about race 6 or 7 tonight, I guess. Meantime, the reigning New South Wales title holder, Todd Wiltshire, has half a lap of the swept Gosford City Speedway to negotiate. Lee Adams in second. That's the way they're going to finish in this one. So for Todd Wiltshire, an ideal way to start the meeting, picking up 3 points with the victory. Lee Adams in second with 2 points. And third of the checker there was Rusty Harrison, scoring 1 point. And the time in that first heat was 59.90. And that's another aspect of the racing that we'll see change dramatically throughout the night, the race time. Good performance, though, by Todd, Rodney. Here's the replay.
Yeah, great start from Todd. A traditional thing for Todd to be first at the first corner, and he just weighs the track up over the first lap and then settles into his rhythm, and after that he's gone.
What is it that makes him such a good gator? He's been world famous for it, world renowned.
He must have tremendous reflexes just in general, and very alert and very much at home on the machine. He knows what the bike's going to do when he drops the clutch, as opposed to some riders. They may wheel stand, they may spin. Todd knows what it's going to do, and he does it well.
Heat number 2 of the National Championship for the summer of 2000. Great to have your company wherever you might be watching. Stephen Davies, wily old veteran from Newcastle, rides in the red helmet colour from gate number 1. Beside him, Mick Poole, blue helmet colour, gate 2. Craig Watson from Sydney, white helmet colour, gate 3. And Jason Lyons, another member of our World Team Cup Championship winning squad, rides in the yellow-black, gate 4, left-hand side of your screen. And this should be fairly interesting. I'll tell you what, the old fox on the inside, Davies, could prove hard to crack here.
Yeah, Stephen's done a lot of laps around the track here at Gosford, and yeah, if he gets a good start, he'll be hard to catch.
Tapes fly and away they go. Lyons got posted on the outside. Great start by Stephen Davies. Rides this racetrack particularly well. Gee, Mick Poole's got a problem, one of the pre-leading favourites. He slips back to last in this event as Craig Watson and Jason Lyons rocket it up on the inside. They're only separated by about 5 metres, the entire 4 of them at the moment. They pack up racing onto the back straight another time. That's Craig Watson in the centre of your screen, a rider with plenty of wraps on him.
In second and third place, Dave, you've got 2 of the hardest riders in Australia. You've got Lyonsy and young Craig. Craig's a little bit inexperienced at the moment, but he's shown a lot of flair. And as you can see, Lyons having a lot of trouble pacing with him.
Yeah, you would have thought this is a racetrack that would suit Jason Lyons down to the ground. He was born and bred on the 300-metre Olympic Park Speedway venue in Mildura. Gosford is similar. Little difference in terms of the surface. It's not quite as spongy as Mildura. As we see Stephen Davies head down the back straight, he's putting a huge gap in his opposition in front of a pretty good crowd here tonight in very warm conditions at the Gosford Showground. Davies got victory in heat number 2, 3 points to him. Second was Craig Watson. He picked up the 2 points. Then Jason Lyons with 1 point. He wouldn't be happy with that for his opening ride, one of the big guns. 59.97 was the time. Last was Mick Poole. He'd be disgusted.
He'd be very disappointed, Mick. I think that's probably the first time he's ever come last in the race at Gosford, and in the most important meeting of the year.
That's Jason Lyons you're looking at from Mildura in Victoria. Rides for the Bellevue Aces in the British Elite League. There's a nice close-up of Jason unbuckling the goggles. You must miss all this caper, Rodney.
Oh, well, yeah, I miss being dirty.
Especially the cleaning, I was about to say.
That's right. Jason, as you can see, he had a set of roll-offs on to keep clear vision whenever possible, because the track being a little bit spongy, they're copying a face full of mud at the moment.
Now looking at the Tucker Time Auto Trader Jower sponsored entry of Stephen Johnston from Western Australia, 1996 European Grass Track Champion. This is qualifying heat number 3. Nigel Sadler from Adelaide rides in red from gate number 1 on the right-hand side of your screen. Travis McGowan from Mildura rides in blue from gate 2. Steve Johnson rides in the white helmet colour from 3. And Dave Watt, a youngster out of Brisbane in Queensland, his crack at the big time tonight, rides in yellow from gate number 4. Nigel Sadler, a rider I've personally got huge wraps on. Watch him on the extreme right-hand side of your picture. Great young talent. The 500cc bikes blast away from the starting tapes. Travis McGowan in the blue helmet colour got the front wheel right up in the air and struggled out of the start, but somehow has managed to squeeze himself up into second, and he now tracks Nigel Sadler through turns 3 and 4 the first time, and a heck of a battle further back in the pack too between Stephen Johnston and of course Dave Watt. Oh, Watt has made a complete mess of that. Heading through turns 1 and 2, he actually took a shortcut across the grass. He might have thought he was going motocrossing for a while, but has done well to continue on again, and so does the race.
Yeah, Nigel's made a good start, and he's riding away from Travis. Travis has tucked it in nicely on the inside. Jono showed a little bit of, I can't say inexperience, but he's very experienced, but he rode a little bit wide in the first turn and allowed Travis back into the race when Travis made a poor start.
Yellow flag on display. This Gosford venue, 300 metres in circumference on the pole line. Very similar to most of the speedway tracks throughout Britain. and it would be about 11 metres wide, I think I'm correct in saying. In fact, I'm sure that is the case. As Nigel Sadler on the contraband-sponsored Jower comes off turn 4 for the final time. Sadler, McGowan, Johnston, that was the order, 3-2-1 in points respectively. And 61.41 was a very slow time, in fact 1.5 seconds slower than heat number 2.
I think Stephen Johnson may find that will hurt him later in the meet. That's a race he probably would expect him to win.
Take us through this, Rodney.
Dave's come in there. I don't know exactly what was going through his head. He didn't have the motor on. As soon as you shut the motor off, obviously the wheels come back into line. He wasn't sliding the bike and as a result had to lay it down.
You're watching the Australian Championship from Gosford Showground. We'll be back shortly. Thanks for joining us at the Schweppes Gosford City Speedway, located at the Gosford Showground in sunny New South Wales. Oppressive weather conditions. I would suggest the temperature here still around 35 degrees. And we now approach qualifying heat number 4 of the Australian 500cc Motorcycle Championship for the summer of 2000. Mark Lemon will line up here out of gate number 2 in the blue helmet colour. Young Brendan Mackay, all the way from the Northern Territory, rides in red from gate number 1. Adam Shields in white from gate number 3. You're now looking at him in the centre of your screen. And young Kevin Doolan rides in yellow-black from gate number 4. He'll be on the extreme left-hand side of your picture. Track is starting to get quicker. Riders will each contest 5 qualifying rides tonight. And this race signifies the completion of the first round of qualifying heats. Rodney Colquhoun is with me in commentary. And one of your old sparring partners, Mark Lemon, has said, "See you later, fellas." He runs down the back straight, leading comfortably.
Yeah, former teammate of mine, Mark. He's a really nice man and a very good rider. I think he'll do well tonight. Young Adam Shields in second place gets his chance as a result of Jason Crump's omission. Adam's got a few scouts from England watching him tonight, so he'll be feeling a little bit of pressure.
A couple of the team bosses from elite league clubs in the UK.
Yeah, a couple of first division bosses very interested in Adam at the moment. He's 23 and I think he's got a big future in the sport.
Mark Lemon leads Adam Shields, the man to whom Rodney Colquhoun alludes. You can see most of the spectators here at the Gosford venue are jam-packed onto the back section of this circuit. It offers nice grass terracing and some pretty good close-up action of the racing. Inside the last lap now, Lemon has put a sizable lead between he and his nearest rival, which is Adam Shields. And the Victorian, former 2 times Victorian state champion, in fact, is going to emerge a comfortable winner here in heat number 4. He got the 3 points and the money. And Shields was second ahead of Kevin Doolan. So Lemon 3 points, 2 to Shields, 1 to Doolan, time 60.18.
Yeah, young Kevin Doolan looked pretty handy on the bike there, Dave. He finished third, but wasn't disgraced at all and paced himself fairly well.
Yeah, he's got big raps on him. Went across to England in 1999 for the first time. Made his debut season in the UK, and a lot of people standing up and taking notice of him. Picnic atmosphere here at Gosford. Sorry, Rodney.
Yeah, right. I was just going to say, he managed to make the final of the World Under-21 Championship, which is a very, very difficult thing to do.
Indeed, and of course Nigel Sadler, his compatriot, finished third in that particular event. That was about last August, if memory serves me correctly. Yeah, thanks for joining us for the Australian Speedway Championship for 2000. The Gosford City Speedway is the venue. And Doolan, we've just been talking about him. He returns for action here in Heat 5, right-hand side of picture. Red helmet colour. Rusty Harrison in blue from gate number 2. Then Stephen Davies in white from gate 3. And Stephen Johnson from Perth in yellow from gate 4. Davies comes into this race with 3 points, having won his first heat tonight.
Yeah, I think Stephen will get a lot of confidence from that first ride. Gate 3 is not the best gate. If he can get a win off this one, he'll be looking good.
Looks like he's going to make it a good gate. Doolan got a nice start. Classic cut back there by Stephen Davies. That was experience with a capital E, and I'm not sure Doolan appreciated too much. He rushes up behind him. He might be angry, the youngster.
He's a very good trier, Kevin, and John will be feeling very disappointed at the moment. He needs to get past Doolan at least and pick up 2 points, or else he's basically out of the equation.
Well, he was third in his first ride tonight, so 1 point coming into this, and looking very much as though he's going to have to cop one again, unless he can get by on the inside, or outside for that matter, of Kevin Doolan. Who knows? But Stephen Davies, he's got a big fan club here tonight too at the Gosford City Speedway. Has been a regular rider at this venue since the racetrack opened about 8 years ago. Here's Johnston now. He might salvage 2 points from this race, and boy, doesn't he need it.
He looks good on the bike, Jono. He's probably got Stephen in his sights, but I don't think he'll get him. Stephen's done enough laps around here, and I think he'll hold on to the win.
Well, who would have thought Stephen Davies, at 35 years of age, equally the oldest rider in the field along with Perth's Guy Wilson, who would have thought he'd win his opening 2 rides tonight? In the twilight of his career, Davies does it emphatically. Johnston second, Doolan third, 60-31 the time. That puts Stephen Davies on 6 points after 2 rides. You beauty.
He'll be very happy with that. I think if he'd have said you can have 6 points from your first 2, he would have taken it, and yeah, he looks good.
Reckon you're right. There's the, they call them pom-pom bills, I guess, that are lining up opposite the riders in the starting alleys. Nice touch by the promotion here tonight. Heat number 6, Lemon from Victoria, red helmet colour gate 1. Sadler, South Australia, blue helmet colour gate 2. Guy Wilson from Perth, fair dinkum, he's travelled more territory than Burke and Wills to get here to Gosford tonight for this. He's in white out of alley number 3. And Craig Watson, looking to big things from him tonight, yellow-black helmet colour gate 4.
Yeah, it's quite hard to make the start off gate 4 and 3 here, Dave, so any points you can salvage off the outside is a bonus, and on the same score, if you lose points from the inside, it's going to cost you dearly.
Waiting now for them, 500cc base with no brakes. Tapes fly at the Gosford venue. Mark Lemon, blinder of a start on the inside. Who's that cutting back? It's Guy Wilson in the white helmet colour. The West Australian rider, that's Nigel Sadler in the meantime, that went by on the outside of Wilson to secure second on the circuit. And here comes Watto, Craig Watson. Oh, picked up some drive, spectacular wheel stand. Now, Rodney, as a Speedway rider, tell me what goes through your mind when that happens.
Not much, Dave. Just hope you don't hit anything. But yeah, Craig did well to save that. It was pretty sudden, and he's benefited from it. He's gone forward.
Magic piece of riding. Straight around the outside of Nigel Sadler. That's not easy to do. Sadler's a fighter. So Craig Watson has thrown a spectacular wheel stand. Managed not to hit the fence. If anything, went faster. And is now in second, chasing Mark Lemon. Lemon picking up just a little there too as he came out of turn 4. The track must be patchy up there. Here comes Craig Watson now, launching an attacking raid on the outside in this qualifying heat number 6. Lemon, I think, is going to be too clean and tidy for him though. Great ride by Craig Watson. Gee, imagine where he could have ended up with a better start.
I think Craig's starting to work out that the track is drying nicely on the inside, and it's enabling him to drift into the dirt, and I think he'll take a few people later in the meeting.
So it was Lemon, Watson, Sadler, 59.71 the time. Another look at the action here.
Well, Craig just picks up. He has to get it down very quickly. The fence is literally 5 feet from him, and he does well to do so. And not only that, he makes a very good fist of the next straight and passes someone. So yeah, not a bad manoeuvre.
You got to be brave to do this caper.
Yeah, I think Craig is. He's known for his bravery. He's a nice young man too.
Heat 7, as it says on your screen, fall-up journey. If you may have just joined us, you're watching the Australian 500cc Speedway Championship, the Schweppes Gosford City Speedway in New South Wales, the venue, one of the big events on the national oval track calendar. This event dating back to 1926 in terms of its origins. Ironically, the first few national titles were held not too far from here at Newcastle in New South Wales. The sport all started in that region at Maitland in 1923, in fact. This sport, Australia giving to the rest of the world. Yeah. Heat 7 sees McGowan in red, gate 1, Brendan Mackay, blue, gate 2, Mick Poole, white, gate 3, Wiltshire, yellow, black, gate 4.
Yeah, this one's crucial for Mick Poole. He needs to win this one.
He does. Let's see how it works out. Wiltshire, not a great start from gate 4, but it is hard on the outside alley here. He splits them heading down the back straight. Good ride by the defending Australian champion. Travis McGowan is the race leader, a young Victorian. Out of turn number 4, he's got one of the best in the world right behind him, Todd Wiltshire, and here's Mick Poole in third, and he's moving a fair bit closer too. They run wheel to wheel down the back straight the first time. McGowan lifting just slightly. What will Mick Poole do? I fancy his chances around the outside. He knows this track better than anyone. No, decided to nip up the inside and make a liar out of me. Wiltshire has a look up the inside, and here comes Poole now, winding it up for an outside pass, and that is beautiful Speedway.
That's just experience, Dave. He's ridden this track more than anybody else, and Travis was holding them up slightly, although riding a good race, and Mick just said, yeah, not tonight, young fella.
That is so brave. Corners here at Gosford, a little off camber too, so to charge around the outside like that, well, it's no place for the faint-hearted. Mick Poole, this has been a gem of a ride and picks up 3 points in heat number 7. Pretty close for second. McGowan ended up getting it. Wiltshire just 1 point in that heat, and he doesn't need that.
No, he doesn't need that at this stage of the meeting. I think with grid positions being so crucial here at Gosford, if he drops too many points, he might not get first pick, and that could cost him later.
60-44 the time. Take us through this, Rodney Colhoun. Magic piece of Speedway.
Yeah, well, he's gone in very wide, and as I said, it's slightly off camber as you go down the hill there. There's no room for error, but Mick's pulled it off very nicely. Travis was holding Todd up just nicely, and Mick said, yeah, I'll have both of them.
He got a beautiful run out of turn 2, didn't he, to swoop by them on the outside. We just had a graphic shot of Mick removing a tear off as well. Some of the action in the pits. That bike is owned by Stephen Johnston, the Perth rider. And there is Travis McGowan. What's he doing?
He'll be adjusting his timing, his ignition timing. If the track slickens up, they retard the timing to make the bike drive harder.
Now it's heat number 8. This is the final heat in the second round of qualifiers. Lee Adams, red gate 1. Jason Lyons, blue helmet colour gate 2. Dave Watt, white gate 3. Adam Shields, yellow and black gate 4. The uninitiated watching, when I talk of colours, I'm referring to the helmet colours, not the leathers or bikes, to identify the starting grids.
We have 2 members of the World Team Cup winning squad here, David, off gate 1 and 2, so expect a pretty torrid first turn.
And not a lot of love lost between them either.
No, they both live in the same place, and as you can imagine, there's not enough room for both of them down there.
Well said. Away they go. Who'll it be? Lyons out of gate 2 got away okay. It was Lee Adams, former 4 times national champion, who got a flyer of a start. Gee, it's spectacular racing here tonight. Only a small track, not a lot of speed compared to a lot of venues that we do bring Speedway motorcycling to you from, but no shortage of action. They're lifting, they're ducking and they're diving. It's terrific stuff.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a credit to Terry Poole. As we said, it's heat wave conditions today, and Terry's got enough water into it to make the racing interesting, and it's been very good.
This will be a scorching time by Lee Adams, left-hand side of your picture on the Series 500 Jower. He races down the back straight. What hasn't he done? Former World Under-21 champion, Aussie Test captain, 4 times the victor in this event.
Yeah, textbook style, Davey was taught in his younger days by the great Phil Crump, father of Jason, and yeah, you don't get a much better teacher than that. Multiple national champion himself, and Lee's emulated him all the way.
He has. It's ironic. Lee has won 4 titles. Crump won 4 titles. Will Adams get 5 tonight and surpass the great Phil Crump? Time was 58.31. It was Adams Lyons and Adam Shields in heat number 8. So Lee Adams putting together some necessary points. He wouldn't be coming into this event lightly tonight. He's aware of obviously the importance of the race meeting, but also aware of the competition.
Lee takes everything very seriously, as you can imagine, at his level, and every time he goes to a track in Europe and they announce that he's the current Australian champion, gives him a good feeling, and he doesn't like that not to be said about him.
This will be a good race. Craig Watson from Sydney returns, red helmet colour gate 1. Adam Shields doing a fabulous job, occupying the number that was supposed to be represented by Jason Crump tonight. He rides in blue out of gate 2, then Rusty Harrison, white helmet colour gate 3, the South Australian, and Travis McGowan, yellow black gate 4, left hand side of your screen. Get them underway now in heat number 9. The engines roar. Craig Watson, nice start by him. Rusty Harrison packing them up down the back straight the first time. McGowan on the outside, Adam Shields on the inside. He's doing a terrific job, young Shields. Bearing in mind he was only nominated as reserve tonight. He's come into the meeting as a result of the omission of Jason Crump, the demise of Jason Crump through illness. And here he is running second, a national title here. Good job.
He's doing very well. He's a former national under-21 champion, Adam, so he's quite a good rider, and yeah, he's used his home track knowledge to good use there, and obviously he's not going to catch Craig. Craig's on a rocket ship and he's riding well, but yeah, not a bad ride.
Craig Watson coming into this race with 4 points. He scored a second in his first ride, a second in his second ride. So this is what the doctor ordered for Watson, should he greet the checkered flag here, and it's looking like he will. He'll be on 7 points at the completion of 3 races, and that is fairly comfortable.
He'll be instilling a bit of fear into the better-known riders, David. I think if there's someone you don't want to race against later in the meeting, it'll be Craig Watson, because he rides the boards here.
Shields second, McGowan third, 59.89. That's one of the quickest times of the night. Craig Watson cruising to an effortless victory there.
He spends a lot of time with the dynos and doing his engines in Sydney with a few good, well-known tuners, and his equipment's good and he's very, very fast.
Heat 10, Rodney sees Dave Watt from Brisbane in red from gate number 1, right-hand side of your screen. Stephen Davies from Newcastle, blue, gate 2. Brendan Mackay from the Northern Territory rides in white out of alley number 3. And Guy Wilson in yellow-black from gate 4.
Stephen Davies will be favourite to win this race. He's got gate 2, which is seems to be quite productive at the moment. You know, he doesn't want to drop a point here because he's beaten some good riders tonight, and this will be an easier ride if you can use such a word.
Reminder to join us this coming Saturday night, February 12 on C7, live at 7 p.m. from Sydney's Parramatta Raceway for our exclusive coverage of the Goff and Gilmore Cat 50,000 Sprint Car Classic. 4 hours of live coverage coming your way. Can't wait. Get them underway now. Heat number 10, National Championship for the solo bike. Stephen Davies out in front again. Can he make it? 3 from 3.
Didn't make a very good start, Dave. He had to turn back under. I think it was Dave Watt from Queensland. Dave's riding quite well for a big track rider. He's given Stephen a race, actually, which will surprise Stephen. Stephen might want to look around because he might get a fright.
I don't think too much it would frighten the man they call Dingo, Stephen Davies. He's done most things in life that would frighten you before this, I reckon. Davies through turns 1 and 2. Dave Watt is putting in the best ride in this heat that I've seen from him ever, to be honest with you. He does lack consistency, Dave Watt, but putting it together in this one.
Yeah, young Dave's also got some British scouts out looking at him at the moment, so he understands the importance of this meeting, and he would, if not beat Stephen, if he can stay close to him, it'll look good.
Last lap now, it's all Stephen Davies. Sustained a badly broken pelvis in the early 90s. The 92 National Championship, if memory serves me correctly. Showed great courage to come back from that. Davies the victor, Watt second, Wilson was third, 60.93. 60.93 was the time in heat number 10. And we're exactly midway through the 20 qualifying heats now.
It's been a good meeting so far, Dave. I think Stephen will be on maximum points after 3 rides, which is a bit of a surprise. I mean, no disrespect to Stephen, but there's some good riders here tonight.
A gentleman in the blue shirt, Kevin Titman, son of former great rider John Titman. Kevin has just been employed by Billy Hamill to go back to Europe and assist him with bike preparation for the year 2000 World Grand Prix Series. And that is a terrific announcement, the fact that young Aussies have been given a chance overseas. Heat 11, Jason Lyons, red gate 1, Stephen Johnston, blue gate 2, Todd Wiltshire, white gate 3, Mark Lemon, yellow gate 4. What about this for a field?
This is a cracking race, Dave. I think Todd's drawn gate 3, and it's not the best gate, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes, because if anyone can make it off 3, it'll be Todd, and he needs these points.
Just explain what it's like to ride one of these missiles. I mean, they're 500cc bikes, no brakes, weighing about 80 kilograms, about 75 horsepower, which is impressive to say the least, power to weight ratio. It must be like being out of control half the time.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, Dave, as you can imagine, especially on a small track like Gosford. There's not much time to think, and with the fence there, and there's not much give in the fence, so you've got to be a bit careful.
Former international Rodney Colhoun joining me in commentary. Get them underway now. Heat number 11. Excellent field here, and Lyons got the start.
Yeah, Lyons, he'll need to beat Todd here. He needs a psychological advantage over Todd. Todd's such a great gator, and Jono's tucked in. Jono needs a good ride. He's struggled so far, but we know he can ride this track well if he puts his mind to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wiltshire coming into this, his third ride with only 4 points, and he doesn't look comfortable out there. I'll say for Todd Wiltshire to have 5 points if he gets the one here after 3 rides in a national championship that he's defending is a disaster.
Yeah, you may be very happy, Todd. As you know, it's not his favourite track, but the track's been prepared pretty well today, and I don't think I've seen it better in recent years, so there's no real excuse for Todd. He's a great gator and a very, very good rider and world class, so he probably should have done a little bit better so far.
Lyons needs the win here too, Rodney. He came into this event on 3 points after a third and second in his opening 2 rides, so this is what the doc ordered for Jason Lyons out of turn 4. He'll get the money, no doubt about it. Stephen Johnston will come home in second. Wiltshire, not a good scenario for Todd Wiltshire, the defending champion and current New South Wales title holder. 60.19.
No, he's still a chance of making the main event, but as I said earlier, the points allocated will give you a grid position, and if Todd gets gate 4 in the final, he'll struggle to come out of there.
Now Lee Adams comes to the starting tapes. That's him you're currently looking at in the blue helmet colour, backing away from the start. He scored 5 points after his opening 2 rides tonight, a victory and a second, and a red-hot favourite for his 5th national championship success tonight. Doolan will ride in red from gate number 1 on the right-hand side of your screen. Adams, I've already mentioned, blue gate 2. Sadler, Nigel that is, white gate 3. Mick Poole, magnificent ride in heat number 2 tonight, or in his second heat anyway. He rides in yellow-black left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, Lee will be very aware of Mick Poole here. He'll know that Mick will go around the outside, and Lee will have to push him a little bit wide if necessary.
Yeah, Poole's stunning victory in his second ride was certainly needed, wasn't it? Because he didn't get a point in his first heat tonight. And there he is, Mick Poole, now battling with Kevin Doolan. Unfortunately for the multiple New South Wales title holder, Mick Poole is at the back and going to have to do it on the outside again.
Yeah, it could be curtains for Poole. This one at least needs a point, preferably 2 from this one. Lee's obviously in the distance, and Sadler is a little bit of a clone of Lee, if you like. He's from down the same way and he rides in a similar way, so it's going to be hard to catch him.
Mick Poole now applying pressure to Nigel Sadler. Lee Adams, the race leader, has well and truly gone. huge break between first and second. That shot just graphically showed it to you. Adams through turns 3 and 4. Look at that classical copybook style that Rodney Colquhoun was talking about. The man is always in control.
Yeah, I know, it's quite annoying for another rider to see that. It's not many people can say they're in control of a speedway bike like Lee Adams, but he's got the textbook style. He knows how to push down on the outside peg and get the drive up the hill there, and he won't have any trouble winning that one.
An easy victory, probably the biggest win of the night so far. Good time too, 59.30. That was the fastest time in the third round of qualifying heat. So it was Adams. Poole got second, Sadler third, 59.30, and Lee Adams, at the completion of 3 rides, now finds himself with 8 points in the Australian Championship for 2000 as we take a break from the Gosford City Speedway. So now we advance to qualifying heat number 13 in the Australian Speedway Championship for the summer of 2000, coming to you from the Gosford City Speedway at the Gosford Showground Complex, the New South Wales Central Coast. Mick Poole rides in red from gate number 1 on the right-hand side of your screen. Dave Watt from Brisbane in blue from gate 2. Mark Lemon, the Victorian, in white from gate 3. And on the extreme outside, left-hand side of your screen, Russell Harrison in the yellow-black from gate 4. Everyone in the sport just calls him Rusty, so I might as well, I might too, if you know what I'm trying to say. Help me, Rodney.
Yeah, Lemo had his first 2 rides, Mark, were very good. He got last in his last one. He's put a little bit of pressure back on himself, so he needs a first or second in this one. He's made a very, very good start. Out
of gate 3, which isn't an easy thing to do, as you've pointed out a couple of times on the program. It's Mark Lemon. I've got to say, I really hope he does well tonight. He has so far. The man has just had the most horrid run with injuries in the last couple of years. Sustained a very badly broken wrist in England last year, which kept him out of the sport for 7 or 8 months. Came back to ride in the International Speedway Masters Series. Second or third meeting, dislocated his shoulder. So he has had a terrible run.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a very successful gambler, I wouldn't think, Dave. He's very unlucky, but he's got Mick Poole behind him, and Mick's not gaining, which is a credit to Lemo, because not many people can ride this track as quick as Michael Poole.
The thing about Mark Lemon is, Rodney, he's so strong. He manhandles the bike, can be good on any track, but has put in a couple of blinder performances in here at Gosford before, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him run through to the grand final tonight as one of the top 4 point scorers.
No, he's quite a robust man, Mark, for a young fella. He's probably around the 12, 13 stone. He's quite solid, and yeah, good victory from him there.
So Lemon took it, Poole was second, Dave Watt third. The time was 60.12. 60.12 as we check the progress of Mark Lemon. 4 starts, currently on 9 points. So he's looking good. I remind you, if you're not familiar with the format tonight, the top 4 riders automatically qualifying for the grand final, the last race. And once they're into that, all the points they scored become totally irrelevant. And the top 4 on the meeting, the final seedings are based on finishing order in that race. Now it's heat number 14. Guy Wilson red, Kevin Doolan blue, Jason Lyons white, Travis McGowan yellow.
Yeah, Jason Lyons is a personal favourite of mine. He's a very, very skillful rider, and when there's a little bit of dirt on the track and skills required, Jason comes to the fore. But he's got young McGowan behind him, and McGowan is showing a lot of flair. He rode very well in Europe this year, and people have got big raps on him, and I think they're right.
Jason Lyons having a fairly easy time of it at the moment. About 15 metres, the break between first and second. Travis McGowan is in second. Then further back in third is Guy Wilson, all the way from Western Australia. Kevin Doolan at the back. He's not having a happy national championship. The race time doesn't look to be overly brisk here, but Jason Lyons will get the job done, I'm sure. Yellow flag on display.
Yeah, he's rode well, Jason. He's got, as I said, Travis is chasing very hard. Doolan's now picked up the pace, and he looks like he's going to give Guy a bit of a challenge, which I think Kevin needs this point.
Track's starting to slicken off a bit. The moisture has subsided. It's becoming a little skatey on top. Lyons got the victory in heat 14. McGowan second, Doolan third, 61.02 the time. And Jason Lyons now, at the completion of his 4 rides, tallies 9 points. So things are looking pretty good for him too as far as a grand final berth are concerned.
Yeah, I think he should make the A final, Jason. He deserves to be there, and 4 times runner-up in this championship. So, yeah, history's not on his side.
Take us through the field, Rodney, for this heat 15.
We've got Adam Shields in place of Jason Crump in gate 1. We've got Todd Wiltshire off 2, Nigel Sadler, the Victorian, off 3, and Stephen Davies off 4.
And great start by the fastest alive over the first 35. Todd Wiltshire, that was the what they used to say about him in England in the early 90s, and I'll tell you what, he's still living up to it.
Looked like he just got fired out of a cannon, Dave. That was a great start. He's got young Sadler in second, and Adams riding a very good meeting so far. I'm sure the British scouts will be pretty impressed with what they're seeing. That's third in the World Under-21 Championship rider there that he's just gone under. And
in fact, Nigel Sadler right there has bitten the dust. So something went astray. Funny accident. Our camera didn't really pick it up all that clearly. But being here at the venue, I can tell you I had my eye on it, and Sadler just seemed to get himself all caught up and threw it into the wall.
Yeah, it's quite, as you go into that corner in turn 3, it's a little bit square going in, and there's not much room for error. You generally go across one patch of track, then do your turn afterwards. As Nigel went to lay it in, he turned to his left, and Adam Shields was occupying his space, so it's cost him a few points.
Set now with a rerun in Heat 15, Sadler excluded. Referee Lyle Allen deeming he was the cause of the stoppage, which I guess was fair enough on that occasion. Wiltshire leads them away again with a blistering start. Adam Shields doing himself no harm at all tonight, reputation-wise, racing at the moment with the man at the back of the pack, which is Stephen Davies, who had 3 scintillating heat victories in his opening 3 rides tonight. He's going to have to settle for a third this time round.
I get the feeling, Dave, that Stephen might be on another machine. I think he may have had trouble with his first bite, and his performances have gone downhill since. So I get the just from the look of the graphics on the bike, it looks to be a different machine to me.
If Wiltshire gets the money here, right in this heat, that'll give him 8 points after 4 rides. He's still in the danger zone, isn't he?
Yeah, he wouldn't be sitting too comfortable, Todd. He's obviously got his experience and skill on his side, but, you know, there's a lot of young guys out there that want to make the final, and yeah, he's only on the brink at the moment.
Adam Shields will finish this heat with 7 points behind him, and that is just a commendable effort from a guy that was the reserve at the start of the night. So Wiltshire took it, Shields second, Davies third, 60.69 seconds. Racing time in heat number 15. Heat 16 next on the program. Johnston Red, gate number 1, the West Australian. Craig Watson from Sydney, blue helmet colour gate 2. Lee Adams from Victoria, white helmet colour gate 3. He's the master. And the yellow-black helmet colour being used by Brennan Mackay from the Northern Territory on the outside. Will it be Adams again?
Lee's made a good start, but I think young Craig Watson, he would like nothing more than to beat Lee around this track, and if anyone can do it, it's him. I think you'll find he'll run the bike a little bit wider than the other riders and go out into the dirt. Lee will just ride the tidiest line, but you'll see Craig run it very close to the boards, I think.
Remarkable to imagine just how far Craig Watson has come in a short period of time, isn't it? When this venue opened, he was only just learning and has just improved and improved on a yearly basis. And now one of our best young hopes overseas. Adams is racing away from them, though, it's got to be said. Look at him. Just makes it look so easy.
Yeah, great style. He's just running it out into the dirt. Now, Craig is trying very hard, but, you know, the harder you try to catch Lee, the further backwards you go. He's just too tidy on the bike.
Race time looks to be a cracker. Adams is scorching across the Gosford City Speedway surface. He's been consistently recording the fast times all night in the mid-59s. He's done it again, 59.62 for Lee Adams. That is 1 second faster than the previous heat won by Todd Wiltshire. Watson was second, Johnston was third, 59.62. I'll tell you what, whoever beats Lee Adams tonight is going to be national champion. He's looking very ominous, isn't he?
He's doing very well, Dave, and a little bit disappointed with Steve Johnson in his first few rides.
Heat 17 now, Rodney Colquhoun. It's Russell Harrison, red helmet colour gate 1, Jason Lyons, blue helmet colour gate 2, Brennan Mackay from the Northern Territory, white helmet colour gate 3, and Nigel Sadler here, yellow black gate 4. And really, Sadler's the only one here that should truly trouble Jason Lyons, with due respect to the other two.
Yeah, I think Jason will coast away with this one, but Sadler's got a couple of young guys that want to make a point, and yeah, he got a little bit of a problem with this guy behind him, and I think he might look a bit shaky there.
Oh, he's nipped up on the inside, Mackay, and has put himself down. Well, that was a brave endeavour. He should be able to get up out of the way. That's the way it's going to work out. So the race will continue with a couple of laps remaining. Out in front, Jason Lyons looking down the barrel of a certain 3 points here in his last qualifying ride. That'll give him 12 for the meeting, and I would suggest a certain grand final start.
Yeah, you think so, Dave. Yeah, young Brendan Mackay there from Northern Territory, he just went in there a little bit harder. He rides bigger tracks than this generally and find it a little bit tough, but you've got to commend the guy for having a go.
Lyons has got time to look over the left shoulder. Checkered flag unfolds from the best in the business, Graham Stewart. Lyons takes the victory, finishes on 12 points, and I'm certain that'll get him through to the grand final. Sadler second, Harrison third, 60.82 the time. So that was about 1.2 seconds slower than Lee Adams' last heat victory time. So I'll tell you what, if you base this on times, Adams is unbeatable tonight.
Yeah, Lee's riding very well. I think Jason just rode in the safety zone there, Dave. He didn't need to run it into the dirt, so he just rode mid-track on the slick, and he got the 3 points.
Fair enough, good observation by you. Steve Johnson, red gate 1 here in heat 18. Chris Souter, the second reserve, gets a ride. Blue helmet colour gate 2. Mick Poole is white gate 3. He's shot straight to the lead. And Adam Shields yellow on the outside now, moving up into third place in this race. It's Mick Poole with Stephen Johnston hounding the daylights out of him.
Yeah, Stephen's due a good ride, Dave. He's had a pretty poor meeting by his standards so far. He's chasing mighty Mick Poole, and that's not an easy task around here. If Adam can fill that third place berth, he'll get another point, which will make his tally very impressive.
Nice shot of Stephen Johnston at home in the office, or at work in the office anyway. Over the top of the handlebars, he's riding a Jower. Has just re-signed with the Oxford Cheetahs in the British Elite League. That's the club he's been with the last couple of years, if memory serves me correctly. Same team that Todd Wiltshire will form an important part of in the 2000 Domestic Championship in England. Mick Poole, meantime, half a lap to negotiate in heat number 18. Another 3 for Mick Poole. I don't think he's done enough tonight to get into the grand final, but is going to come up with a respectable score at the end of qualifying of 10 points. 10 points for Mick Poole, and that's not a shabby night's work.
No, he's done well, Mick. I just had news filter through that his engine gave way in the first race, and I think it's cost him a place in the A final. Disappointing for Mick, but a good effort since.
Now this is a critical heat for Todd Wiltshire. Needs to finish the meeting on at least 11 to be a chance of getting into the grand final, and even then he may have to do it via a runoff. And in this particular heat, he's meeting Craig Watson, who's in a similar scenario.
Craig's come off gate 4, he's in the dirt. Todd's made a good start, but not a great first turn, and Craig's put himself in with a real chance by getting past the other 2 riders early.
Watson, left-hand side of your screen, yellow helmet colour, runs second. There's Wiltshire, the race leader, red helmet colour out in front. It's Dave Watt in third, and at the back is Kevin Doolan, who has not come to grips with this track at all tonight. Now, Todd Wiltshire needs nothing less than 3 points here. If that's the case, he'll finish on 11. Now, Craig Watson was on 9 coming into this race, so if he stays second, he'll also finish on 11. So we're every chance of a runoff between these two to take the last transfer spot in the grand final, assuming Lemon and Adams get through as well to join Lions.
I think Todd would rather be somewhere else at the moment. He's got the I wouldn't say crazy, very skilled Craig Watson, but very good trier and hard racer, and Todd's just not in the mood at the moment by the look of it.
He doesn't look comfortable on the track at all, does he?
No, I've never seen him ride. I wouldn't say he's badly. I mean, he's a great rider, but he doesn't look comfortable, that's right.
60.55 the time there in heat number 19. Wiltshire, Watson, Watt. 11 points to Wiltshire at the end of his qualifying rides. Likewise, Craig Watson. So now it's Stephen Davies to line up in the red helmet colour gate 1 in heat number 20. Mark Lemon, blue gate 2. Travis McGowan, white gate 3. Lee Adams, yellow gate 4. Now Adams already has 10 points, so you'd think that even a second here will comfortably get him through to the big one tonight. Set for a start. What will happen with Stephen Davies? Well, Mark Lemon has won the start, and he needs that too. Mark Lemon, if he can finish in front of Lee Adams, is going to get into the grand final this evening, and Mark Lemon is the leader. Travis McGowan second. Here comes Lightning Lee on the outside, winding it up for the big outside pass on McGowan. He has to cut back as McGowan drifts up track, and Mark Lemon has left enough room there. Can Adams get through? No, he can't.
Great ride from young Travis McGowan too, Dave. Not many 17-year-olds can say they've led Lee Adams for a lap and a half. That was a good effort.
Great job. Out of turn 4, they drag race up the main straight. Lemon now starts to feel the pressure. How badly does Lee Adams want the victory here? It's important to be the top qualifier because you get first choice of starting gate in the grand final. Adams wants it. Up the main section they run again. Lemon, a narrow race leader. Here's Adams now switching to the outside. Good speedway at Gosford City Raceway down the back straight. Mark Lemon looks as though he's going to get there.
Yeah, I hope he does. He's a good rider, Mark, and Lee's thrown everything at him there and still not got himself. So credit to Lemo.
I'll tell you what else, Lemon's into the grand final. Big moment for him. 12 points at the end of qualifying. Lee Adams, 13 points, will be the top scorer, and as a result will get the first pick of gates. Jason Lyons automatically through to the grand final too. Now we come to this runoff for 4th place between Wiltshire and Watson, both of whom finished the meeting on 11 points. Winner of this duel goes into the grand final as the last qualifier.
A great start from Todd. He was 3 bike lengths ahead before he got to the first turn. He rode the inside and slowed down a little bit. Craig will have every opportunity to chase and hopefully give him a good run for his money, but you know, Todd's a great rider and he'll probably hold him off.
Wiltshire in front. The runoff for 4th place in the National Championship of 2000. Here comes Watson now winding it up. Terrific young talent. Has a look down on the inside. Crowd goes up with him. 2 of the local stars here at Gosford. Wiltshire in front. Watson is going to need something miraculous, something special, and he needs it now.
He can do it. He's the most sought after rider in the UK at the moment. They're throwing money at him left, right and centre, and he's just weighing up his options. But another great ride from Craig. He's chasing one of the top 5 riders in the world without a doubt, and doing a great job of it.
Gee, it's hard to take, but I mean, being beaten by Todd Wiltshire is nothing too shabby, and Watson will probably be a little angry at himself, but he has been beaten, as you just said, by one of the world's greats. Todd Wiltshire has taken the final transfer spot in the grand final. And the time there was 61.17. Nothing too quick about that.
You know, I think crucial to that runoff, Dave, was the fact that Todd had the inside grid, and as we said before, the best gaiter in the world off the best gate. Very hard to beat.
Now it's the grand final to determine the Australian champion in 2000. Wiltshire on the left-hand side of your screen. Lions white helmet colour, Adams blue, Mark Lemon red. Here we go now. Tapes flying the Australian Championship for 2000. Lee Adams out of gate 2, got a scorching start. Mark Lemon also quickly away, and Jason Lyons sailing high around them on the outside. He might even take second away from Mark Lemon. Great racing, handlebar to handlebar, out of turn number 4.
Yeah, 3 world champions in this race, Dave. You won't see a better field in Australia. And throw in Lemo for good measure, and you've got one crack of a race on your hands.
Adams back straight. Can they catch him, Rodney?
I wouldn't think so, Dave, no, but you know, there's a lot that can happen when these engines run at a very high rev. Oh, a little bit of trouble for Lyonsy there.
Oh, you can say that again. He saved the mono, but then Wiltshire took his front wheel out. Not on purpose, I would have to say. Simply a racing incident, and Jason Lyons in a sensation here at the Gosford City Speedway has gone down. Another look at it, Rodney.
Oh, that was a pretty scary moment for Jason. He did well to save it initially, but Todd just held his line and hooked Jason up, and Jason's gone in fairly hard there. Hopefully his back will be okay.
Yeah, now he is okay. There's a picture of Jason Lyons walking away. He's a tough boy. What a rider he's been for the last decade. One of Australia's best. So now a complete rerun to the National Championship decider, minus Jason Lyons. Gate 3 vacant. Lemon on the right-hand side of your screen. Adams the centre. Wiltshire the outside. It's Lee Adams again.
Lee Adams just did what he couldn't have done 4 years ago. He made 2 great starts in a row, and I think that's the difference between the Lee of now and the Lee of then. He's very, very consistent now.
Yeah, he copes with pressure. The pressure of the big occasions better. In fact, thrives on it.
Yeah, he would have had the pick of gates, Dave, and surprisingly took gate 2, gave Lemo the inside, and that shows a lot of faith in your own ability.
Adams, big lead here. I don't think they're going to catch the Mildura Marvel, who's greeted the checkered flag on 4 previous occasions in the Australian Speedway Championship. He is one of the all-time great Speedway products this country has produced. The Series 500 Jower is motoring through turns 3 and 4. Yellow flag on display for Adams. I mean, how good is this guy, Rodney?
He's, yeah, as we said, Dave, he's probably in the top 3 or 4 in the world at the moment, and he's a real chance of winning the world title this year, which would be great for Australia.
I agree with you. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final times, and Lee Adams has won the 2000 Australian Speedway Championship in emphatic fashion. When you looked at the race times all night, he was never going to be beaten. He seemed to have some in reserve there. He's delighted, and a great result by Mark Lemon in second. Wiltshire was third in a time of 60.54 seconds. Lee Adams now has the checkered flag. Great job.
Very, very good job from Lee. A great ride, 2 great starts in a row. It's twice as much pressure the second time around. Lemo couldn't do it, but I think this will turn Mark Lemon's career around, frankly. I think he's been a little bit down in the dumps, but he's just shown tonight that he can race with the best in the world.
So Lee Adams, the victor in the 2000 National Speedway Championship. Well, Lee, Australian Championship victory number 5. It must be very sweet.
Yeah, very proud to be up there with the greats, Billy Sanders and the likes of those. It's just a fantastic night. You know, I've been feeling a little bit ill the last 24 hours, and to come back and win it, excellent. You know, it was a hard meeting, very hard to make the A final for one, but I managed to top qualify. I think that was very important, and got a good gate.
outstanding performance right throughout the summer really in Australia. It'll now stand you in good stead for the European season.
I hope so. It's very important. I think, we've done well in the World Team Cup Australia, that is, and it's about time Australia gets on top of the rostrum in the Grand Prix, and hopefully I'll be up there. I've worked very hard this year, and I just got to transfer all the performances here to England.
I'm sure you will. Well done, mate. You are one of the greats. There's no doubt about that. And runner-up tonight, Mark Lemon. I can't think of a guy that deserves this more than you. You've been to hell and back in the last 15 months with injuries. Well done.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'll tell you what, I've worked my butt off to get where I am today, and probably 3 weeks ago I thought about giving it all away, and I thought, I've worked too hard and there's no success, but tonight it truly pays off, and I just can't wait to get going again.
This is a track that I personally thought you would ride well at because you've turned in some blinder performances here in the past.
True. I've only had like 2 meetings prior tonight from injury, so I had good visions of tonight, and I was focused on the job in hand, and I was just quite glad to get through being unhurt for one thing. But I'm just ecstatic. It's been a dream come true, I suppose, for tonight. I mean, the best rider in the country won it, of course, and second spot's nothing to be shaking your head at.
Quite right. Well done to you. And third of the checkered flag tonight, the outgoing champion Todd Wiltshire. Very tough night, and you had to do it the hardest possible way.
I certainly did. I think I had 7 rides tonight, so I worked with it with the weather tonight and the humidity. It wasn't so easy, but I worked hard, and it's full credit to Lee. I mean, he's won the Skilled Series this year, and he was on fire, so it was deservedly winner. Fantastic to see Lemo up there in second. I couldn't be happy to finish behind Blake better other than that. It's great.
You'd be happy though with your Australian campaign. You can now focus on Europe and the World Grand Prix Series.
Yes, I am extremely happy. We're finishing second in the series prior to this, and third tonight. I think it's a good lead up to the World Championship this year. I'm very happy just to be to the GPs, but I tell you, I've got the opportunity now, and I'm going to certainly grab it with 2 hands and make the most of it. I'm sure I can come home in November and make Australia proud. Well done. There he is, Todd Wiltshire, third of the checkered flag tonight in the National Championship for 2000. Hope you've enjoyed all the action from the swept Gosford City Speedway. This has been one of the best Australian Speedway Championships I've seen for many years. Until we catch you next time, take care.